One of the principles that my organization was founded upon was, instead of the therapeutic model where you're a mess and I'm going to fix you exists, our therapeutic model was, aren't you just extraordinary? Aren't you just extraordinary? And I'm going to hold that space for you until you know about it. So I'm going to tell you about what this program is, and then I'm going to tell you how it got there. It's called the Renaissance House, and it's a nonprofit substance abuse treatment center for homeless women and their children. And it's located in Bisbee, Arizona, a town of no more than 5,000 people. It's a Victorian mining town, charming. All of you should visit. I retired there 15 years ago. I was a personal injury trial attorney. And I decided, I was down there on business one day and one week, and I was moved by the town spiritually. And I've been 25 years sober. And so I do what I'm told. And I heard you're supposed to build a healing center in Bisbee, Arizona. And I do what I'm told these days because it makes me happy. It doesn't entail sacrifice. It makes me happy. So this treatment center started out as a transitional housing program, but we found out that a lot of the women needed drug and alcohol treatment. And so we became behavioral health level 4. It's phenomenally successful. It has 9 beds. Oh yeah, I want to show you. See that? See that house on the left-hand side? It is a turn-of-the-century Victorian house with 9 bedrooms. And each woman has her own house because I insisted that they do because I love my privacy and I want them to have privacy too. So the women each have their own rooms with their children, and they stay for about 4 months, and they are given substance abuse treatment and counseling. About 12 years ago, that happened 12 years ago, we asked them, what do you want to do in terms of a cottage industry? And they decided that they wanted to build something with their hands, furniture. It ended up being Adirondack furniture. To make a long story short, they sell that furniture now and they have 12 weeks in back orders at any given time. And HUD pays for all of the expenses of making this furniture that they make from scratch, with perfection, with excellence, and everybody wants one. And since it's paid for by HUD, all that money goes into their savings account, so when they move out, they've got thousands of dollars. I mean, how cool is that? Okay? Okay. We also do have a state-of-the-art computer lab where they do their GEDs and they learn computer skills. And they spend time with me in this extraordinary gallery with 20-foot ceilings, tin ceilings, brick walls, hardwood floors. Turn of the century that is just, it's one of the best buildings. Well, it's the best building in Bisbee. And it's in the premier gallery of Bisbee, and we do hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and the money goes to the Renaissance House. It's owned by them, and I run it. It's extraordinary, but these women, you know, the typical thing that you do oftentimes with nonprofits is that you have thrift stores, and they work, and I'm all for them, but I did not want them coming out of a trailer and selling 10-cent t-shirts. I wanted them to be around art that costs thousands, and that they, yeah, and so they stand a little taller, you know what I mean? And this is my gallery. You know, it's very empowering. It's also amazing how empowering the making of the furniture is. They almost knew that getting their minds and their bodies to work together again would work with this woodworking business, and it does. And they're taught by these fabulous men in their 60s that adore them, and they adore these men, you know. I was picking up a check from a foundation a while back, and where they make the chairs is right across the street from where they live, and the press was there, and they were giving us this check, and we could hear in the background, the music going, the women laughing, and the machines whirring, you know, and they were making, and I thought, you couldn't have planned this any better, you know. So it's that kind of extraordinary stuff. So the way that it happened was that I was down there on business. I had to move to Bisbee, came back to my husband, asked him if he would go with me, and he said yes. Thank God. So, it's been 36 years, he's a great guy. So, we moved down there, and I realized that we needed this, and so I started writing grants, and I wrote 75. As a matter of fact, I bought a separate house to write them in. Said goodbye to my husband in the morning at 6 o'clock and came back at 6, and for 12 hours a day for 2 years I wrote 75 grants. Raised a lot of money. When we opened it is when I wrote the HUD grant, and we were flush with money. Can you believe it? I mean, so I could dream. And I asked for $12,800 a month to be able to run an art gallery, to be able to make the chairs and to have the instructors and the materials for the computer lab and for the Adirondack furniture. And HUD loved it. It was a 1-year grant. This is 12 years ago. It was a 1-year grant, renewable for 3 years, and they're still paying for it. So, yes. Reversal of the laws of time and space. So, they come, they look at it, they cry, they go home, they pay for it again. It's just, unbelievable. One of the things that I learned when I was writing grants is that you ask even though you're not supposed to be getting this money. One of the first grants that I asked for was from Nina Mason Pulliam Charitable Trust, which is the Arizona Republic in Phoenix. They give relatively large grants. They had never funded outside of Phoenix before, ever. And so I'm writing this grant, takes 3 months, and people are saying, why are you doing that? They don't even fund it outside of Phoenix. I said, I know, but they're going to love this. They're just going to love this model. So they did. It was our first staffing grant of $60,000. The next year they gave us 120, and the next year they gave us 115. So the message to that is, don't do what you're told, Just do what you feel. Just do what you feel. And I put all kinds of stuff in there about the Course in Miracles, about God, about all kinds, and the things that I believed in, and it worked. So stick with what you know, stick with what you believe in, go with your passion. I was an attorney, I know how to write a grant, but I threw all of this stuff in there that came from my heart. It was the heart that got them to fund outside of Phoenix for the first time in 50 years. So I run Belleza. And so I went from, being a lawyer to bubble wrapping, and I enjoy every minute of it. When we were about 5 years in, we applied for the Yale Goldman Sachs Business Plan Competition grant monies for nonprofit entrepreneurial ventures. We were the smallest in the nation to apply. 640 applicants. We were in the top 20. They sent us to New York, gave us a bunch of money. She has a copy. Debbie has a copy of that business plan, and you're all free. I can send you any grant. I can send you the business plan, anything that you want to be able to fund it. All you need is driven women to run it. Okay. But it's a fabulous business plan, and it works. There are a couple of things that I believe in. One is that the only thing that is lacking in any situation is the love that you're not giving. So when you find yourself lacking anything, you feel like you're lacking something, knowing that everything you give to yourself. So if you want money, give some tonight. If you want love, give love. If you want peace, give peace. Give what you want. You can change the energy in your person, in this room, in this town, in this country, in this world, by choosing to give what you want. Just do it. Once you thank you. Once you find your passion, and you've got to find your passion. Not everybody is, for what you're doing here, but thank God you are, and you have found your passion, and you've chosen to give here. Recognize that even though there are many unhealed healers in this world, the biggest thing that you can do for those girls sitting over there is to live an extraordinarily fabulous life for yourself. So I want you to look at your life, and if there's anything lacking in it, if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for them. I gave a speech to a bunch of social workers a couple months ago. So I asked them to write down 5 different things that they would give, that they would want for somebody that they loved. you know. And if they don't love your clients, then, you know, your kid, you know, who do you love? What do you want them to have? And it was almost uniform what they answered. They answered, I want them to be joyful and happy and, you know, health, wealth, love, peace, integrity, you know, all that stuff. And I said, that's fabulous, but if it's so fabulous for them, why is it not fabulous for you? What is your resistance to giving it to yourself? Is there something unholy about that? You know? The holiest thing that you can do, in fact, it's your obligation, is to live an extraordinary, fabulous life so someone will come to you and say, how did you get that? And you can tell them. So you put your own house in order first. Huge, huge. Secondly, only become in things that you really care about. You know, LouAnne talks about caring versus curing. We've got a country of curing. I'm going to throw money at this. I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to fix this without ever making the connection of caring and loving for those people that you want to serve. Because if you're going to care for them and you don't like them, forget it. You are doing more harm than you are good. Move on. Find somebody else that you truly want to help. If you're going to look down on people for not coming up by their bootstraps, if you're going to say to them, if only they took care of themselves, they wouldn't be in this mess, run as fast as you can. I'm serious. Without making the connection of loving them, you're going to do them no good. The people in my life that have done the most for me are people who have loved me regardless of what I was doing and what I looked like and what I said. They saw beyond that. They saw my light. They held that space for me. And that's what we are here to do for everybody else. And I can see that you're doing that. And keep on doing that. Thanks.